Hey guys, Ultra Healthy Video Game Nerd here. I'm back in action and look who just joined me. Hi! Come play whenever you like. It is freezing cold in Japan right now. I think it is actually 0 degrees Celsius and it's the middle of the day. This hardly ever happens. I mean, Tokyo has been like super snow. I don't live there, I live far away, but I'm supposed to live in a place where the weather is pretty mild. It is freezing balls here. Hopefully it'll only be like this for a couple days. Anyways, let's get into it. The last video that I put up actually was about Gamadelic, who was Data East's band. They've reformed and they've put out a couple new studio albums, so I did a video reviewing those. They kick ass, they're totally awesome. But actually, the reason that Gamadelic got back together in the first place was because Sega's band, S.S.T, got back together first, or basically Namiki Koichi, who was the guitarist and a very central person in it, brought them back together and they started performing again. And I have some really good news today. As it turns out, in just a few weeks, S.S.T, who now calls themselves Blind Spot, is doing their 30-year anniversary concert tour. I believe they have 3 locations. One is in Tokyo, Nagoya, and Osaka. And yours truly is going to the performance in Osaka. That's right. I'm gonna see them up front in person. It's February 12th, so it's hardly even 3 weeks away. I'm stoked, and on top of all that, they are putting out a completely new album, probably almost totally new music, on that same day, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to be selling it there at the location. This is huge news. For those of you guys who don't know, like these video game bands that the arcade developers had back in the late 80s and the early 90s, they're very representative of that golden era of gaming and game music. And to have 2 of them back like this, you know, is huge. So I'm going to be seeing them. It's very exciting. And so I just thought that today I might kind of go over, not so much the history, but just what kind of music did S.S.T put out back in the glory days. And what albums do I have? I have most of the albums from the time itself. So I'm just going to kind of introduce them to you and show what kind of music is on them. So first of all, they would put out arranged versions of the game music, basically. You know, they would play the music from Afterburner on the instruments, so they would play the music from Outrun on the real instruments. And there were arranged versions here and there, and they put out 2 compilation CDs of those songs together into full-length albums. They're called Mega Selection. This is the first one. This is Mega Selection 1. It has a lot of the games that you would expect from them: Afterburner, Like the Wind from Power Drift, Galaxy Force, Splash Wave from Outrun, all that stuff. And this is great. Now, I actually said the band, the S.S.T, but as far as I can tell by listening to it and by looking at the instructions, I believe these early ones on the first album, these are mostly synthed. These are mostly high-quality arranged versions built on synthesizers. I think the guitars are real. I'm pretty sure the percussion is synthesized. But they do kick ass. That's the first one. This is the second one. So these are all the band playing. These are all actually the songs being performed on real instruments in the studio. And these tracks were a little bit more, I mean, they were popular Sega games, but they're a little bit more in between. I really like them a lot more, actually. Well, I like the other ones also. But this one has songs like Sprinter from Super Hang-On, or a song from GP Rider. That is kind of lost in between the cracks, you know. Air Battle for G-Loke. Those are not nearly as common names as Afterburner and Outrun. So I love this CD personally. This one kicks ass. The next one is really interesting. This is an album of S.S.T's original music. The songs on this CD are not video game arrangements. They're just songs that S.S.T as a band wrote and performed themselves. The album is called Blind Spot, and that's what they are calling the band now. it's almost all the original members. I think there might be one new person, but it's amazing that they were able to get all the original people. The song that might be the most popular from this one is called I Can Survive. It was performed at one of the concerts a long time ago, back in the early 90s. But this is all, it's very fusion, progressive rock sounding. It kicks ass. Right? And there is also a live album by S.S.T. Not recently, not the reformed S.S.T. This is the original Supersonic team performing in '90. Yeah, that was just right in the midst of the glory years. And it has, a lot of the songs that you'd expect: Afterburner Medley, Galaxy Force Medley, Magical Sound Shower. This is just legendary. I mean, this is just gold from start to finish. So those were the full-length S.S.T. albums, basically originally. However, at the time, since one video game soundtrack wasn't generally enough music to take up one full CD, the companies whose music was popular enough to feel like they could sell an album would put a number of games onto one CD, and they were called GSM. A number of different companies released what they called GSMs, Game Sound Music. And Sega has 5. This is entitled Galaxy Force. It's not just Galaxy Force. The music is from Galaxy Force, Altered Beast, and Thunderblade. But then it also has 4 or 5 of the arranged tracks by S.S.T. on here, some of which got onto the Mega Selection CDs, a couple of which don't every once in a while, so it's good to have these. There are 5 of these. This is 2, 3 Supersonic Team, 4 Hyperdrive. This is when they started coming onto 2 discs. One has some arranged tracks in the... I'm sorry. Yeah. This one has the one CD with arranged tracks, and then the other one will have the original songs. And the same here. This was the last one. It was called Formula. It's 2 discs. It's a thicker jacket, if you can see that. So those are... They call it S.S.T. They put the letters S.S.T. on it as if it were an album being released by them. So I mean, S.S.T. was basically just Sega's sound team. There were a few games that did kind of have enough music to be released as one single CD if you put on a couple of the arranged versions on it. And they also do put the S.S.T. name on those. I have a few of them. The very basic ones, the Afterburner, the Strike Fighter, and Outrun, of course. So if it didn't have arranged versions on these, I mean, they would probably be relatively short, maybe 20 minutes or something. But you put the arranged versions on them, you get 30 or 35 minutes. It's basically enough music for one CD. S.S.T., I'm pretty sure, actually has put out a live CD since reforming and starting to do the concerts again in 2013. I don't have those. I'm assuming that it's mostly the same music. I'll have to really go back and kind of take a look at it. But if they're putting out a new album, theoretically those songs are going to be totally original. Might be some game arranges, but I'm thinking it's going to be a lot of their own original songs. Their style, traditionally has been very fusion sounding. The guitarist Namiki Koichi, I mean, his performance style is very virtuoso like, and they've done arranged versions of other Sega music. After S.S.T. stopped performing, Sega did have kind of like this sound group who called themselves B-Universe, which was meant Baby Universe. And it was Namiki Koichi, the guitarist, and Takenobu Mitsuyoshi, who was probably keyboard and vocals. And they did the music for stuff like Sega Rally, probably Virtua Racing. And the songs themselves they were good. They were good ideas as songs. But really, when they did the arranged versions and they played them on real instruments, or they did them in the studio, that was kind of when they became real good music. And I do also have those. So anyways, those are a bunch of the S.S.T albums from back in the days when they were originally together and performing, and they are performing again now, and their 30th anniversary concert is coming up, and I'm lucky enough to be able to go and see one of them in Osaka. I am close enough to get there. I can squeeze the budget in this time. So once I come back from that and I come back with a new album, which I should be able to buy there, I'll definitely do another video about my impressions on the performance, of course, but definitely I'm really interested in hearing those new songs and what's going on with their new style. So as always, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Ultra Healthy Video Game Nerd, I'm going to sign off. If you did enjoy the video, do please hit that subscribe button and look at my other social media accounts where you can find lots of information about deep, obscure, retro gaming stuff from a true dedicated retro gamer, no poser. Alright, it's good talking to you guys. Take it easy. See you next time.